Hey everybody, welcome to Little Monsters
Group
Podcast. Dino,
Ted.
Yep. Tonight we got one of the movie maniac franchises, Freddy Krueger. We skipped one and we went right to two, exactly. and you'll know why when we start talking about it.
Yep. Well, our idea is, now that we're coming up into Halloween, you guys want to, you guys like the popular franchises. We're going to take the redheaded stepchild of every popular franchise.
Yes.
And that's the movie we're going to do. And we're going to make it so you're going to love it.
Exactly. So, this is going to be fun as heck to talk about.
Except for, I think, the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street, which everybody hates, including myself. This used to be the worst one. And I actually think it's one of the better sequels. So I got a lot of love for this, though. I'm going to be talking about it.
A lot of the love that I think is going to come from this is just that how weird it is.
It is. It's so different from all the rest.
I hate to throw the word out there, but I mean, it's the gayest horror.
We're going to be throwing out the word homo and gay and all kinds of stuff.
And
please don't be offended, because
don't be offended.
The gay community loves this movie. It's their horror movie,
right?
And
there's nothing wrong with it, as Seinfeld once said. There's nothing wrong with it. I have nothing against it, but it's the gayest horror movie ever, and we gotta throw it out there and point out all these things. Oh my god,
there's a few things.
There's a few. There's
one or two part. Not just kidding. It's the whole damn movie.
Oh my god. Yeah, you would. Well, okay, whatever. We'll get into it. But yeah, I mean,
well, that's what's cool about it, because the movie can be seen from a couple different perspectives.
Yeah,
and you can watch it as a horror movie, or you can watch it as something that's got a lot of subtext to it that maybe means something else, whether it was intentional or not. So I did a little homework on the movie and a little bit. So I'm ready, man. I'm ready to rock. We got it going where you can ask questions, I think, right?
Yeah, we got the chat going on the YouTube channel. So we will answer some questions at the end. We got to get into talk about the movie, do our thing, our commentary and all that. But I know Zombie Slayer and horror movie review guys in there, they're chanting right now. So people get in there, start chatting. But
so I mean, 1985.
1985.
It came out pretty much almost like a year to the day.
It's Freddy's revenge. So he really wants to get
Yeah, he needs revenge. And so we had the first one. The first one, everybody knows everything in the world about it. New Line pretty much spent every dime they had to get that movie out there. And because they spent so much, they didn't really make much off the first movie.
Right.
It was a big success, but they didn't really make much profit on it. But once they saw that it was getting successful and people were showing up dressed as Freddy at the screenings, now that it had been out for a while, let's get that sequel out there right away. So almost a year to the day, at the sequel came out.
I mean, how can you not love the character? I mean,
I argue that it's the last really great idea that we've had in horror movies. I mean, there's been other horror movies that maybe people have liked or good, but like for an icon. And I'll even go so far as to say I think Freddy Krueger is the best horror movie icon. I mean, the guy can ride in a parade and people are cheering. He's a child murderer, and people love it. They make little rap album. He had a rap album. He had his own TV show that was on during the day when kids could watch it. Freddy's Nightmares. He had the glove sold in toy stores,
still being sold.
And this guy's a child murderer. It's amazing.
Cult status. It doesn't matter what you do. But yeah, as franchises go, I love all the characters. Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, but Freddy Krueger, I think, yes. I mean, look wise, his
backstory.
Backstory. I'm not going to say
and the
powers,
mythology. I guess what he does, the way that he does it through dreams.
Yeah, he's a dream
at all.
He's a dream demon.
Yeah, you're completely defenseless.
He kills these.
Except in this movie, because he comes out into the
that's what I was going to say. Except for this one, they veer off, and somehow he gets out. And we'll talk about it. But for the most part, a character who kills in your dreams. I mean, and, what a great story.
I, for one, I like all of them except for the remake and maybe like Freddy vs. Jason, because I didn't think that was really necessary. It is what it is. It's not horrible. Well, it is what it is.
They're doing a remake. A new one's coming out. But anyways, whatever. Okay.
I mean, I'll tell you what they should do. Well, first I'm going to finish my statement there. I love all the Freddy movies.
Right.
The original, set.
Yeah.
All the way up through New Nightmare. I think they're all pretty good. Even the ones like this one and maybe Freddy's Dead that people don't care for as much.
Mm-hmm.
I find something I like about all of them. I also think they had like some of the best movie posters. Did you see like the original movie poster? I don't know if you posted it on our website.
Yeah, I got
the picture of the guy holding the girl, and he's got the claws and the crow or whatever, the raven. I love the movie posters. All the movie he had such detailed movie posters. My sister actually, when she had an apartment, I don't know if she still has them, but she had all of them hanging up, framed in her living room.
That's awesome.
I was a little jealous, but I really liked that.
Yeah,
and
very
where
cool.
else was I going with this?
Just about your favorite. I mean,
he's my favorite out of all the franchises. What I was going to say is, if they do reboot, like you're saying, a reboot,
right,
or whatever, I think they should just take Robert Englund while he's still around, and even though he hasn't, he doesn't have to be all burned up in this movie. Make a movie, just call it Fred Krueger, and let it be about what he did, and take it to the point where he got all burned up lead it. And I'm not a big fan of prequels, but we never really got a really good telling of that story. There was a little bit of it in the remake, a little bit of it in the first episode of Freddy's Nightmares.
Yeah,
let's really get a good movie.
Yeah,
and I mean, just
I agree with you. Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
That's what they should do. Robert Englund can do it without the makeup, and when he got all burned up, hey, that's what he looked like before.
I think they're getting desperate, and
why don't they do that? Is he not up for that?
Well,
does anybody out there know?
I think Robert Englund is going to play. He said he's willing to reprise the role in the. So
yeah, but they got.
Chances are
they'll pay him the money.
They'll get somebody.
Because that was one of the issues with this movie, Freddy 2, is that it was successful. So Robert Englund's managers, we want more money, and they didn't want to pay him at first. And there's a couple scenes in this movie where you can tell for damn sure it's a stand-in. And
without
because they started making this without him, I think. And so, finally they realized, this is not going to work without Robert. Just the movements he created, he owns that character.
Oh, heck yeah.
And, without him, you don't have a Freddy movie. I mean, that was the problem with the remake. He just,
with anything, it depends who makes it, how they make it, and Hollywood does not do a good job at.
That's what I would like to do. And I gotta think there's a lot of you out there that think I'm right about this. That's what I would like to say. Give me a real, true Fred Krueger. And don't call it Freddy, call it Fred Krueger. And that's the name of the movie, not Nightmare on Elm Street, just Fred Krueger.
Yeah, good idea.
And that's the movie. And it leads into the original.
Yes. Yeah.
So this is the only one of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. It references the movie before, the original. But the rest of the film, starting with part 3, which is probably my personal favorite, none of the other movies ever reference this movie again.
And there's a reason for it. It's kind of offset.
It is. It's the bastard child.
Yeah, I don't know what they did. What their thoughts were.
Well, there is continuity in pretty much the rest of the movie.
And I would even say if you watch the beginning of the movie, okay, it starts off with that, them in the school bus,
right? Right.
And I'm gonna make a quick point here. They start off, in the school bus, and everybody's, something's gonna happen,
right?
What I mean? But and just to jump way ahead to the end, what I mean? What's the point of the movie? It's like, the very beginning, and then you do this bunch of stuff, and then the ending is like the beginning.
Yeah,
if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's like it never happened.
Yeah, it's like, what's the point of that? Unless it's like a Groundhog Day, something like that. I mean, I don't get it.
And I think they realized. But even though this movie made 10 times what it cost to make, it was still a big success, and they finally got some money. I think they realized this is not the direction. He's more frightening in the dream world, and that's why we got 3, which I think is after the original. 3 is just awesome.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, that one, they went Nightmare are my favorites.
Yeah,
and it all kind of all the same characters or things like that. So, but like you're saying, this film starts off in a school bus coming down the street. It's a little hazy, like those Nightmare on Elm Street movies usually start. And I love when you see the bus stop to pick up some kids. It's actually Robert Englund, the bus driver, little cameo there. And which
keys it to him, that something's going on.
Right. And from what I understand, Wes Craven was sort of, I don't know if he was necessarily invited back to direct. He didn't really want to do another one. He was allowed to look at the script, I guess, and didn't really like it.
He's got writer credits.
Yeah, but, I don't think he really had much of a hand in writing this film. In all honesty, I think he thinks they did a good job for what it was, but I don't think he really cares for this film or cared for this film. Rest in peace. So they're on the school bus.
And the kid, Jesse,
that's where we first meet him.
This skinny little kid. I mean,
he looks like an emo goth.
He looks like Norman Bates, the Bates Motel show that's on.
Oh, really?
He almost reminds me of his character.
Yeah,
he's very skinny, and when he screams in this movie like a girl.
Yeah,
there's actually him and Ron both.
I would probably scream like that too if these things happened.
I know, but somebody's got a hold of his, his kazangas because
I don't think he needed anybody to do that.
Both the guys when they scream in here just a wailing woman scream, and I'm just like, I mean, they may have wanted to be part of the whole scream queen thing.
Actually, the actor that plays Jesse, Mark Patton, he's got a documentary, I think, about his career or his role in this film, and it's actually called Scream Queen.
Really?
Yeah, it's supposed to be coming out pretty soon.
Leave it to Ted to give you a little bit of info.
So,
yeah, definitely.
I'm looking forward to that.
And who's Lisa? I was trying to think of the actress. I didn't look her up real quick, but she's been in a lot of stuff even since then.
Well, yeah, because she's won all those Oscars, Meryl Streep. She's won all those awards.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because that's who she looks like.
Oh yeah. Yeah, she was with the Douglas. What's his? Whatever. Meryl Streep.
She's Meryl Streep.
Oh, what's the
But anyway, the bus goes off the road, out in the desert, and
they're all freaking out.
Yeah, because all the kids get off the bus except for two girls and Jesse.
Yeah,
and the girls are giggling and making fun of him because he's a loser, or at least he looks like a loser. And then you see it's
although they make him seem popular during the movie, I don't quite get it.
Well, that's his dream. This is his dream.
And
you actually realize it's Freddy who's driving the bus. You see the gloved hand.
Yeah.
And they end up in the middle of the desert.
The ground falls apart. Yeah, you gotta love the '80s. Gotta always throw in that lightning effect.
Yeah, don't know kind of special effect.
Don't know what that's coming down for. And, but hey,
the ground falls away and the bus is just teetering on this
too big
pillar of land, I guess.
Stalactite type. What's that? Yeah.
Yeah, whichever one grows up.
Yeah,
and
the first one falls.
Freddy gets up, starts scraping the bus and scraping the seats and he pretty much just wakes up screaming. But it's the family downstairs. The family's all of a sudden, and our boy Clue, Gulager or whatever from Return of the Living Dead. Frank or whatever. Yeah, whichever one. Yeah, he's in this movie too. He's playing
a lot of. Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
So our boy Clue.
and his family. When he wakes up too, and he wakes up like 5-6 times during this movie. Yeah, screaming, but so wet,
soaked in sweat.
I mean, and I think he should be going to the hospital, man.
I don't know.
Dehydration set.
Yeah, I bet his potassium's real low.
I mean, it's not just how you see movies. The guy, they wake up in a nightmare and they're sweating. No, this dude's been dipped in water and it's staying there. I'm like going, holy Moses, what is going on?
Right.
But I think this is the start of the homosexual stuff. I mean, just let's get the kid all. I don't know, but because his shirt's open too and buttoned all the way down through the whole movie and stuff.
Bad dream.
Very, very odd. Very weird.
When he wakes up, he's just in his tidy whiteys.
That too.
And gets up
which I love the dancing scene later on. I don't love it, but it's very odd and strange too. But anyways,
it is what it is.
Yeah, I love when he comes down after the sweating. He comes down, his family's there. How you doing?
If you notice in this movie, he wears like the same clothes, like. Almost the whole movie. Like there's like 2 outfits he wears and he wears them all. It's breakfast. Mom's making up snacks.
I love the box of cereal, Fu Manchus, and the daughter's digging in the box of cereal looking for the little prize. And there used to always be one in the box. I used to love that.
Remember, this is a toy that we used to have back then. The little they were like little Dracula claws. You put them on each finger, little nails. And that's what she's got.
Yeah, and he looked at it like, oh my God, like that's Freddy. You know what I mean? So,
and then in the next scene, boom, the nails automatically switch onto the other hand. So it has nothing to do.
See stuff like that.
But he goes to school, and he picks up what's her name? Lisa, right?
Lisa.
Who played by Meg Ryan, or not Meg Ryan, Meryl Streep. And she's kind of like a well-off, cute redhead. she's kind of well off, rich family, but evidently they can't afford to buy her a car. She rides with this new kid in town because they just moved here,
who's got a car that's just ready to blow, and he doesn't even start it with a key. It's a little pressed.
Right, I think he hot wires it and hits a button.
She goes, "Don't aren't you scared somebody's going to steal us?" And he goes, "This dinosaur or something like that." He said, and they're like.
And I guess we should say that the house that the family has recently moved into was Nancy Thompson's house from the original Nightmare on Elm Street movie. Right. It still has the bars on the window.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So they're just moving in. He's got Nancy's old room. And one thing they do make a mention of in there is that it's so hot. You know, and the dad's always saying, there's nothing wrong with that air conditioning. It just needs a little Freon. And
it's another thing.
So that's the house. That's the home life, little sister, mom,
Freddy Krueger. It's got to be hot. It's got to be fire.
Yes, so, man. But, so then we get to school.
Yeah, and I love how they pan down. They're all like out for gym. Okay?
Gym class.
But I love how they're playing baseball and 10 feet over.
Oh, God,
they're shooting archery.
Yeah, I mean, how's that safe? There's kids sitting on the grass.
The arrow is about ready. I mean, come on.
I mean, because then, you know, Jesse's not paying attention.
Yeah, because
he's checking out the girl. He gets hit with a baseball in the head.
Right.
I mean, be thankful it wasn't a freaking arrow.
I'd probably be checking her out too.
Well, this was what's his name? Ron Grady.
Yeah.
Who hits the ball that ends up hitting him in the head. And
they're like fighting. They're always
they get a little tussle and
but
pulling his pants down and his bare butt's hanging out. Hey, that's just how it was in gym class.
No. Not in any gym class I've been in, but yeah, he runs over to him, pulls his sweatpants down. You see his jock strap and his whole ass sticking out.
I mean, rolling all over the ground, and the teacher comes up, Mr. Snyder.
He said, "You okay?"
And I recognize him from Exorcist 3. He was the one doctor who chain smoked. I remember from Exorcist 3. It's the only other thing I remember from.
Yeah. But they get in trouble and got to do their push-ups and stuff, you know.
And they kind of start striking up a conversation. He asks about Lisa. Grady asks about Lisa. And I like how he says, you know, are you mounting her daily or what? You got a problem with me? No, dude, just trying to pass the time.
The last dinosaur car.
Right. So and he mentions that, you know, Snyder gets his rocks off making the guys do this. He tells them that he hangs out at queer S&M bars. That's his exact quote. And we'll find that that's true later on.
Well, I don't know. We'll talk about it. Yeah.
Well, at least the way he was dressed.
Yeah.
And then they're in the locker room getting dressed, and that's where Grady kind of tells him about, you know, the house that he lives in and what happened there, that, you know, some chick went crazy.
And I love how he responds, Jesse, like, what do you mean? You're lying, man. You're full of crap, man. That didn't happen at my house. And
he's like, you know, that's why she put the bars on the way. She went crazy after she saw her boyfriend, meaning Johnny Depp's character, Glenn, get killed in the first one, in the original one. But she didn't actually see it happen. I mean, it just happened.
Right. Yeah,
but,
I love how they...
And that kind of sets up those two becoming friends. Yeah, because that's how guys are, man. You get in a fist fight, most of the time you just shake it off and you end up being friends. Exactly. Girls can never do that. No. It's like they'll hate you. If it happened in first grade, they'll hate each other the rest of their lives. Yeah. So, Jesse's having another nightmare or restless
night? Yeah, he goes back home. He has another restless night, and he wakes up soaked and wet.
And what's the number one thing you should do? Let's go down to the basement.
No.
Doesn't he go down the basement?
He goes outside first of all, and
that's right. Let's go outside and look for some stuff to scare me.
And not just that though. He walks to and looks in the basement and sees the fire going,
and Freddy's putting stuff in the furnace.
Yeah.
So instead of going to get help or waking up
or running away hysterically, like there's a killer,
the
he walks very slowly, and just walks down back to the basement. You know, hey Freddy, man, what's up? You know what I mean?
Well, he doesn't know he's Freddy yet.
Well, I mean...
Well, then they meet in the hallway. He comes up from the basement, and Freddy's there. And this is where the idea of what's going on, he says, you know, I need you. I need your body. You've got the body, and I've got the brain. And peels
tears off, which is very cool. The brain's thumping, and...
Oh, yeah, they had some good effects.
Oh, yeah, Freddy looked awesome.
And then he wakes up screaming like a little girl.
So
this was a dream.
Yeah, this was the first big girl scream of the movie.
Mom and dad come in, check him out.
Oh my God, what's wrong? Hurry up! Get some towels, some dolls, and squeegee. Get a squeegee. I mean, come on. You could take all that liquid, bottle it, and
if I was in this room and it was that hot, I'd go
kerosene it up.
I'm hot down here in this basement right now.
Oh, please.
I am. If I could do it without my shirt on,
oh my God.
But you guys would tune out.
Anyways, we get back. Let's see. Their parents say okay, and
he doesn't need a doctor. He's fine. Everything's just freaking fine.
Well, the father thinks he's on drugs.
Well, yeah, that's what's going to come up later.
Mom thinks he's going crazy. But yeah, he's at school. He's in class, science class, I think.
Talking about defecation, how the body gets rid of waste.
Yeah, what a thing to talk about.
And there's all the fart noises, and it's exactly what I would.
Golden showers. I mean, another reference. I don't know.
Right, and Jesse starts falling asleep, and I like how he wakes up with a dream that there's a snake around his neck.
Kim Myers,
and when he wakes up, there's a snake around his neck. And not just a snake, it's a freaking boa constrictor.
Oh, yeah, and the whole time, Ron and his friends, they're, the typical 80s making fun of the other kid.
Oh, and that Ron, he's got a unibrow, man. That eyebrow, comes down to here, man.
Wasn't he one of the two kids in Weird Science?
Oh, dude, I don't remember. You got the poster hanging right there. See if his name's on it. He had a Weird Science poster hanging on the side of the room here. See if he's seeing it.
But yeah, anyways,
and don't you love how the teacher comes out? It's like if you want to play with snakes, you should join a circus or whatever. How about you just don't have friggin' dangerous boa constrictors where children?
All right.
Who let this thing out?
Well, that's what I was going to say. How did the snake get around his head?
Maybe it's just symbolic of being a phallic symbol.
Well, he looked. Could be go along with the movie
because it's going up by his mouth. I don't know.
But Ron was, and Jesse looked at him after
and the kid sitting next to him doesn't even notice.
I mean,
this big snake. The kid sitting, he's taking notes. Doesn't care.
Yeah, I don't know. So
whatever.
Who knows? That was kind of like.
And everyone's laughing, but then Jesse just flips him the bird, and everyone laughs. Everybody's cool.
Yeah, and then the teacher does throw the heart on the table.
Oh yeah, he throws a heart. It doesn't even look like a heart, to be perfectly honest with you. It was like a steak.
Yeah, just. Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude's got all kinds of organs just sitting around and stuff like that. I don't know.
There was no refrigerator there. Was it just sitting out in the open? Plop? I mean, it was stink to high heaven.
I would have grilled that sucker up, man. I had myself a heart barbecue.
Yeah, man. You put that in a pot, you got a stew.
Oh, man. Then we get home to,
Lisa, she's swimming in the pool. The rich girl whose parents won't buy her a car.
The one thing I hate about
that death.
This is the 80s, and this girl's just dressed so conservatively. Nothing's coming off.
She's a good girl, man. She's a good girl.
I know.
That's what I think. She's a good girl. She's his friend, and
so he's gonna. At least when she's swimming, she could have been in a little bit of a.
She's
whatever.
The heroine
that's
of
me.
The movie, I guess.
Yeah, like the first, but.
Yeah, like Nancy, she dressed a little bit more conservative, but she had all these slutty friends, so
damn slut party, which happens on
and now we're getting close to where we start wondering this is kind of like my Lost Boys oily guy playing the saxophone on the board.
Yeah, we're coming up to the weirdest part of the movie, if you guys know what we mean. Anyways,
so he's supposed to go over Lisa's. And his dad says, "No, you get your rear end up there and finish cleaning that room because he's got boxes. They just moved in."
And he's going, "Dad, come on!"
Oh, and don't you love how he stomps up the stairs like a 2-year-old, like my son does? Boom, 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 boom.
First of all, I don't understand how he didn't unpack these damn boxes. I mean, it would take
I mean, he just opens up, and dumps everything in drawers. Well, why didn't you do that before? We get here. I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to show you guys because he decides he's going to clean his room. He puts on some 80s music, and he's going to close his drawer. And he does the triple booty bump like that. Hey, I did that pretty good.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I do not know why the director said, "Hey, get out of here." I don't know why the director said, "Take your ass." While the music's going, bump the drawer closed.
I think the idea was to do like a little risky business kind of thing with Tom Cruise.
Well, if you're Juan from San Juan. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know if this was in the script for him to do it like this or if he just kind of improv'd.
Well, yeah, I mean,
maybe when he comes out with this documentary, we'll finally find out the truth because I've heard both.
He was going to have some fun. I mean, he figured, what the heck? He's dumping a thing. He puts the glasses on.
Right.
It puts the music on.
Bumping the thing in the drawer, that's one thing.
I know. Okay.
But then when the little popper gun
even the sunglasses, he's got some big gold.
That was weird. The 80s. They had weird stuff.
I know.
I mean, he's dressed just like a typical 80s kid.
Oh, it was so funny.
But this is supposed to technically take place 5 years after the first movie. So this is supposed to be like 1989, even though the movie came out in 1985.
But yeah, he's dancing
this
around.
Is not 1989.
He's dancing around, puts his cap on his head, jumps up on the bed. He's got something that he's playing with.
It's like one of those little guns you put the cork in and you.
But he's dancing and thrusting with it. Thrusting, and he pops it
right as his mom and Lisa walk in the door.
Yeah.
Oh,
one of the weirdest scenes in the movie. There's a couple more, but
that's I don't necessarily see that as necessarily gayish. It's just it's embarrassing.
Other movies in the era had the same kind of things, but like Mannequin.
But it's just sitting there, playing with it.
I don't know. It was very weird now, but it is whatever. But yeah, Lisa comes in, but this girl does not give a crap, and she likes him, and
she's helping him clean his room.
Even later on, when we get to the all the down and dirty stuff, she's there and she's sticking with him. And
where do you want your jock itch spray?
Yeah.
And then when she's putting something up in the thing, everybody knows this. There's a game up on the top shelf. It says probe. So I was going to look it up before I came in to see if that was a real game or if it was just a prop.
No, I think it was a real game.
Well, you have it.
Yeah, I've probed. I had the doctor do that a couple times for some tests.
Every time I go to the doctor, hey, I got a hurt finger. Let me check your prostate.
Yeah, he does that every
single
single
infection.
time.
Let me check your prostate while you're here. Every time.
I tell him about this doctor. Get away from him, man.
That doctor.
He's got a whole shelf.
Dr. Vinny Boombots.
Whole shelf of Vaseline in there for no reason.
I know there's no shortage of that stuff, and then he leaves you with a box of tissues.
Table, Vaseline.
Afterwards, okay, here, clean yourself.
So you got a cold? Here, you bend over the table. I got to go up for you. Anyways,
he told me I needed to lose weight after he did that one time. Like, did you have to do that to me? What the heck?
Anyways, Lisa's helping him clean his room.
Yeah, and I think actually, the guy's a handsome guy. I see why she probably likes him.
I guess
he's got the hairdo kind of thing going, and. Yeah. I mean, way better than he looked on the bus at the beginning there. He looked scary.
Oh, yeah. He looked like half zombie. He looked like right straight from Fear the Walking Dead. But
when Lisa is helping him put some stuff in the top shelf of his closet, she stumbles across a dusty old red diary. And it turns out to be the diary of Nancy Thompson, who in the first movie, we never, ever see her keep a diary. But evidently she did. And they start reading it. At first, they're kind of joking. I feel him under my sheets, and he's trying to take me. Yeah. But then as you go on, she starts describing the claws and Fred Krueger and all this, and starts ringing a bell with Jesse. It starts sounding like the dude that's in his dream.
Yes.
But Jesse is not a Elm Street kid. Freddy is sworn to go after the children of the Elm Street citizens who burned him.
Right.
So Jesse's technically not a real Elm Street kid. He's the new kid.
It's an outsider.
So maybe that's kind of why, it's the reason why he's trying to use him to go after the others.
Could be.
Because he's not an Elm Street kid. Maybe that gives him some sort of, I don't want to say protection, because he ain't got no sort of protection in this movie.
Oh, yeah. And in this movie, like we said, it's a little different because Freddy is trying to, the only way he can get out to kill other people is to either inhabit his body or to eventually
come through
his body. Which
why can't he just go into those kids' dreams like he did before? That's where this movie doesn't make a lot of sense.
Right.
I like it. I'm gonna go say I like it a lot.
Right.
But there's things about it that just don't make any sense, and we'll touch on those as we go.
Yeah.
So after Lisa leaves, he goes down into the basement again. And
goes into the oven. Yeah.
The furnace. It's one of those big old furnaces with the grate. And
nobody ever changed that. You think after everything that went down, let's get rid of that darn
furnace.
Let's
get that big sucker out of it. It's like 100 years old. And the glove, Freddy's glove, is in there.
Yes.
And do you notice, like in the rest of the movie, Freddy doesn't have a glove. It's actually the nails.
Yes.
The claw, the razors coming through.
Jesse has the claws.
The glove.
But Freddy has got it through.
And that's something I think, I've seen this film several times. And I think I just didn't zip past me. Like I didn't notice it before.
Right.
So we're back at school. Lisa wants to borrow the diary for a little while, kind of check it out. They're in gym class. Evidently, they're in trouble again because they're running laps. And afterwards, they're in the locker room, and he says something like, Snyder shouldn't have called you out on that last play. And Ron says, Snyder's got to stick up his ass.
Yeah. And Jesse goes, it's so far up his ass.
Yeah, and then Snyder's standing right there. and makes them go and do push-ups again, which is the exact same scene from when they were doing push-ups before, because you can see the same girl walking in the background.
They reused it.
Yep.
So
they're wearing the same clothes, everything. What do we got? We got some comments, man. People wanting to join in.
Oh, Pat's talking and he's going on. So
all right.
Riley is there. Said, "Hey, Pat." So yeah, I mean, I'm reading them as I can. But,
all right.
We're doing our thing, commentating. So
commentating.
But then we get to they're just back at the house and they're burning up.
Don't you love how Clue is just he's dripping sweat.
I would have.
He's sitting in a leather chair like there's nothing wrong.
Yeah, I would have caught onto this about an hour, 2 hours
there's
before.
No windows open. There's no fan. There's no
And he goes over
Jesse walks in, he's like, it's 97 degrees.
It's 97 degrees. He goes the thermostat. I mean, come on.
20 degrees before. I can't even stand when it's 75 degrees in my house, man. I have air conditioning on right now in my house. All right. Do you have your air on?
No.
See, I have my air on, man. Until it's freezing outside, I got my air on. If I don't actually feel like a couple weekends ago, we had that good rain.
Yeah.
And when the windows are open and that blows in, I love a day like that where it just
that
cool air
man.
blows in. If it's not like that,
you've got to be freezing though. Yeah, I hear you. But yeah,
that's because I've got lots of insulation, a large mammal. So what's going on here? The birds start going ape shit.
Well, it's just hot in that room, and so everybody's like starts freaking out, and the birds start rattling in the cage because they covered
up the birds.
And Jesse goes and takes it off, and they just start flying about.
Well, one of them's like on fire or something, and then at first, and then the other one's flying around. No, I think one of them just attacked the other one or something.
Yeah, it got the father in the cheek.
Cut his cheek.
Yeah, and then went towards the girl, and blows up. Feathers everywhere. Way more feathers than you could possibly even think.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, Zombie Slayer. I see it too. Zombie Slayer. Yeah. So I know you're there. If you guys enjoying it so far, hopefully, man, we're just going through the movie.
And then all of a sudden, Dad's going to the stove to move the stove out of the way because Mom said she thought she might have smelled gas, and maybe that's the reason why all this is. You're going to move the stove out of go down the basement and look at the gas pipes.
This guy, well, first of all, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Any person with a smart head would say. Well, because they think something's going on where they're thinking wrong maybe or something, or they're starting to get paranoid or something. But why would you go behind the stove if it's 97 degrees in the living room house?
Yeah.
What's the little gas leak
and he
got
starts
to do with anything?
Jesse of doing it. You set this up.
Yeah.
You little bastard.
You put a cherry bomb. You put a cherry bomb in that bird.
What? Where's the explosion?
Well, and
cherry bomb in the bird.
And how would that even...
It's that cheap bird seed you're buying.
How
you can buy the cheapest bird seed.
It's Acme bird seed.
Acme.
99 cents a pound. But anyways, yeah, why would you first of all, put a cherry bomb in the bird's mouth? It's going to die. It's going to choke. But anyways, unbelievable.
Yeah, you can't talk to me that way. And so he's upstairs. He goes sleep. He wakes up from another restless night, dripping sweat.
Yeah.
Comes downstairs to the kitchen. Lightning strikes and hits the dishes
in the house. Yeah.
These are dishes, not pots and pans. These dishes are just like your regular Corningware dishes. They're not made out of steel. Where's that lightning? What's attracting that lightning to hit the dishes? But evidently, that after seeing that convinces him that he needs to go out and walk in the rain. And he ends up at Don's place, which is
Don's place. And this is
the local gay S&M bar.
Well, this is what's funny about it, okay? Because, I mean, you would think that this is a gay bar and stuff like that, but there's guys and girls in there. And the guys are on top of the girls, and the girls are on top of the guys.
I guess
so
you're right.
It doesn't seem, in a way, it looks like a bondage bar scene. It does.
Let's not say it's a gay bar, because there's really nothing that indicates that.
No, there is, but then
except for him being that one dude.
Yeah, the gym teacher walks up, and he's got.
Well, he goes up to the
leather chat
and asks for a beer.
Oh yeah! First of all, that's what he does.
Right.
Yeah, and
he's got his shirt
up.
Is Bob Shea? He's the guy who runs New Line, and they let him pick his own costume out, and his costume is that S&M kind of costume with the studs and everything. But yeah, this part of the movie, that's Bob Shea. That's the guy who bankrolled the first Nightmare on Elm Street movie. This is the guy who's
and he wanted to play the bartender in S&M.
I think he wanted a bigger part, but they didn't. He's not an actor, so they didn't give him a bigger part. So he gives him a beer. he's a high school student, gives him a beer. And right when he's about to take a little slug of that, that's when the gym teacher, Mr. Snyder, shows up.
And this isn't a dream.
No, this part is not.
This is real, but
he just needed to get out and get a drink.
What took him to the freaking bar?
What? Maybe
it just doesn't make any sense to me. Well, except for something drew him to the gym, is that coincidence? I don't know.
This is something that is subtext in the movie that you could.
But nevertheless, because
he takes him back.
Oh, he punishes
to the school.
He's
middle of the night. This is the
punish this kid,
and he's making him run laps in the gymnasium.
First of all, if I was,
he's still wearing his leather S&Ms. I shouldn't even say S&M. It's just a leather vest.
No, you can say S&M. He's a homosexual pervert in his leather outfit, bringing these kids, which is why he likes to kind of do this to him a little bit. Yeah. And he's in the office with, I don't know what he's going to do with the jump rope. He puts it on the desk in front of the chair that Jesse will be coming into in a few minutes.
So he tells Jesse, go hit the showers, and Jesse's taking the shower. And Snyder's in his office.
And he set the jump rope up perfectly because,
because that's going to be his undoing.
First of all, Jesse should not have went with the gym teacher late at night to the school's gym.
The dude didn't give him a choice, man. He told him, man. Jesse could have sued that bar for serving him alcohol and owned the whole thing.
Horror movie review guy says, "Can you blame him not going to the bar? Rough times."
Yes, rough times.
But anyways, that's fun. Yeah, it's just so strange.
Strange things start going afoot in the gym office.
Yeah,
he starts hearing a twang, and all the strings on the tennis rackets are burning off.
Yeah, like
balls are starting to shoot out.
Another 80s little thing. Technology starting to catch up for the movie.
All the basketballs, tennis ball cans are shooting open. And this guy's getting pelted with balls left and right. Dumbbells are flying and busting glass. And then finally, the
jump rope.
The jump ropes
come down and grab a hold around his wrist. And and
it's cool. Like you don't even. It's like a phantom.
Yeah, it's like an invisible person's pulling him through the halls all the way to the shower.
To the shower where Jesse is. And
pulls him, and this is cool.
Pulls him up like that.
Yeah, pulls him up. Yeah, he's stuck to the wall and stuff like that. Ass hanging out and all that.
Well, yeah, and then like a towel kind of just starts floating.
That is funny as heck.
Rat tailing him to the point where he's bloody on his.
Yeah, towels keep flying in there.
Well, that's what we all did in school.
I never. Well, I see.
Oh, you had a rat tail.
No, I had. Yeah,
you just didn't tie them up, hold them.
They didn't do it to me. Yeah,
they didn't do it to me.
Oh, they did.
I did it to the nerds.
No, I didn't do it at all. But I did see it happen. But what a strange, odd scene.
Yeah. So ties them up, and then the steam kind of covers up Jesse, and then when it starts fading away, you see Freddy coming through. Yes. Is Jesse Freddy? Is
that's where you start? Yeah, that's
because Jesse's got the glove on,
right?
We see some, Freddy actually,
yeah, you see it dig
Snyder on the back,
pretty deep cut. So he gets him pretty darn good,
and
he runs
kills
out.
him, and then Jesse. The next scene, Jesse's got the glove on, sees the glove and the blood,
but this is the part that. Yeah, that's the second big girl scream. But it's so funny that we're getting to the point to where he's got the glove on,
right?
But the teacher did see him as Jesse, not Fred Krueger.
But are you sure about that? Because Freddy came out of the steam, and it was Freddy that they showed doing it. But then after that, then you see Jesse standing there with the glove.
But that's what I'm saying.
Because the blood starts coming out of the shower.
That's what I'm saying. It's
what does Snyder see?
Yeah.
Don't you want to know? Does he see Freddy or does he see Jesse?
Because later at the party, they don't see Jesse. They see Freddy. When we get to that part. But so who knows? But
that's the cool thing about this movie. Maybe it is Jesse who's doing it.
Right.
Maybe there is no Freddy in this movie. Maybe he's just a sick kid.
We'll see. Yeah.
But the cops bring him back home. I know.
Is
this yours?
He murdered. But anyways, yeah.
Right.
Is this yours? Yeah. The cops bring him.
We found him wandering around naked. And they bring
on the freeway.
Right on the freeway. So they bring him back.
I wonder how far he had to walk.
I don't know.
Unless there's a freeway nearby.
Well, I love how they bring him in, and then the next morning he's leaving for school. Mom wants to talk, and And Dad seems to think this is, the best time to take those bars off the window when their son starts going.
Yeah, my son's going mad. I'm going to take the bars off. Honey, do you think that's really a good idea? He's on drugs. No, he's crazy.
He needs a methadone clinic. He needs a good swift kick in the ass. This is how you help people that have addictions. Yeah. Swift kick in the ass in a methadone clinic.
Give them and he almost falls off the ladder.
Yeah,
give them their freedom.
Jesse doesn't want to talk about this. This is, and he gets to school, and there's like one cop car and one ambulance, and when he finally catches up with Ron Grady, he tells him, hey, where you been? I've been trying to find you. Snyder, he got wasted. He says sliced like a kielbasa. Of course, he would say like kielbasa. And so,
but did that happen before the whole scene for breakfast again? When he wakes up?
Yeah, that happened before. Okay. It was just that brief scene.
Okay, yeah, that.
You're skipping too fast.
Then he's going back.
They're at breakfast, and another weird incident happens. The toaster catches on fire, and the toaster wasn't even caught.
Yeah, wasn't even plugged in. Yeah,
it's the damnedest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, no question.
It must be if you just put a little Freon in that furnace, it'll be fine.
That's what he said. Yeah. Man. So Lisa decides to take
because she's been reading the diary,
right?
And she's kind of looked at some newspaper articles. She's kind of done a little research. I don't know why you need to do research though, because this just happened 5 years ago. I mean, don't you think if there was, this Fred Krueger who murdered all these 20 kids, they said 20 kids.
Yeah.
Like no one knows anything about him now. Nancy's father was like chief of police or whatever. And what?
I don't know.
What? Nobody knows about this? This girl's an Elm Street kid and she doesn't know about this? Here I photocopied these newspaper clippings. What?
Yeah, usually you got all that kind of info.
I love the movie, but man.
No, it's like you said, right?
If they do a reboot, I think they should bring Jesse back.
Yeah.
Let's tie that story up. Let's
sure, why not?
Get him back in there.
Oh my God. But yeah, what does
what? I'm gonna jump in here and say that I think out of most of the actors in any of the sequels, I think he's actually one of the better ones. When he looks scared in this movie, he looks really scared in this movie. So
it's just the way
I think he's one of the better actors that they've had in the movies. And I like, if we're going to turn this into a whole psychosexual kind of thing, I think it's interesting that they used a man instead of it's always a girl that they use in these movies.
That's true.
And there's only a handful of movies where it's a male's sexuality that is in jeopardy or threatened in some way. So this movie's unique in that aspect too. I think it deserves some respect for that. Even though a lot of it doesn't make any sense.
Good point. but
they did try to do something different.
Yeah. I don't know. They did try doing something different, but they're kind of all over the place. I don't know.
It just was. I think it was just a poor idea to bring him into the real world.
Right.
It doesn't make sense that he can't just go after these people in their dreams and kill them like he always did. That seemed pretty effective and left no trace. If anything, Jesse's just going to get caught, thrown in jail, and there you go. He can't kill anybody. So
yeah. But the whole chameleon thing, whether he's him, so who knows? Yeah, but she takes him to the actual, where he did all the murders
power
and
plant,
stuff. The
where
power
he would take the kids. Whereas in other films, they say like he was a school janitor and took him to a little room in the school or something like that. I think Alice Cooper played his dad. Yeah, Alice Cooper played his dad in the last one, the Freddy's dad one.
Right. Yeah, Alice Cooper. Mm-hmm. He'd done a few roles just to get it.
Boy.
But she
the same birthday as me.
She takes him there to see if he could pick up on anything or feel anything.
Because she mentioned earlier in the movie that maybe he's not crazy, maybe he's just sensitive, like the people that the cops get to help solve murder cases that they can't solve, psychics, I guess you could say.
Right.
So she thinks maybe that's what's going on with him, and she brought him there to see if he could pick up on anything, and of course he doesn't. This isn't what's going on with him. So they kind of after finding a little rat, they scream and get nervous.
Yeah. And in the locker, because he did, sense something. But then he gets home. They just skip to them being back there.
He's back home and he wakes up again in the middle of the night.
Goes to his sister.
Sneaks in his sister's room.
and
it says, he kind of comes to and says, it's late, go back to sleep. And he goes to put the blanket on. He's wearing the glove.
Yeah.
And it's just like, Freddy's trying to get him to kill his sister.
But somehow he snap out of it, probably because
he's fighting
his little sister.
He's fighting.
Yeah, he's trying.
And then there's a scene back at school. Jesse's all upset. He and Ron have a little tiff.
Yeah, they're in the lunchroom.
That guy's a best friend. He's got his mouth full of food.
Well, that's what. Hey, Ron. The girl sits next to him. Hey, Ron. He's. Yeah, but and Jesse sits right next to him like they're best friends now. I mean,
I think in a way they kind of are. They've kind of become friends.
From the beginning of the movie and to this part, I'm like, these four. How did these four people become like real like good friend kind? I don't know. A little odd, but anyways,
it's their group.
So yeah, he gets pissed and he darts out.
Tells Ron to take a hike.
Yeah, from this point on though, Lisa is telling him the whole time. And whoever the other girl is,
I can't remember her name.
But those two are constantly, what's wrong with Jesse? Is he okay? And Lisa keeps saying, I don't know. Mm-hmm. Just
he's going on no sleep. They show him taking a bunch of stay awake pills, washing it down with Coke. He's drinking just like all the other.
Oh, he took like 3 of them.
Coffee.
But as we know now, caffeine, man. It could kill you if you overdose on that kind of stuff. This dude's popping it down.
The morning that the toaster catches on fire, he goes down, gets a cup of coffee, and his mom says, "Oh, you're looking so much better." And he just gives her that shit.
And he didn't look any better. He looked like he just didn't have any sleep either.
I haven't slept in 4 friggin' days. So, and that's the typical of the nightmare movies. The kids trying to stay awake, and these parents, not Jesse's parents, but the Elm Street parents, took the law into their own hands. They killed Freddy when he was, let go on a technicality.
Poor Freddy.
And
that's where I do feel sorry for him. I mean, no, I shouldn't. He's
street justice.
I would have put his jaw on a curb. And I would have just
American History X style, huh?
Yeah. That's what I would have done. But anyways, then they're at the party. I'm sorry. You're making a point. I got a pencil sharpener upstairs.
Yeah, I need a point.
Okay, you think about that.
Yeah, whatever. It's something about the parents,
on Elm Street
and whatever. But
killing them and all
doesn't matter.
Okay.
And we know that Lisa's having a little party.
Yeah, because she's the rich one
at the lunch table.
And her parents are her father's kind of like they're the hip.
I know what I was going to say.
Hip parents.
Just that all the kids trying to keep themselves awake and having the nightmares about Freddy. They all try to tell their parents what's going on, and even in the first one, Nancy tells her mom exactly what's going on and who's coming in her dreams, and she just flat out doesn't believe it. And in Nightmare 3, it's Patricia Arquette's character. No one believes the kids, and you think after this happens a couple times, somebody might believe the children.
Yeah, he says,
so they're having the party.
Horror movie review guy says that stay awake made no sense. He killed awake as well.
Yeah, for him to try. Yeah. Well, I think it was just getting to a point where he didn't know if he was asleep, awake when it was happening. Yeah. The dreams would happen when he's asleep. He'd wake up and, hey, I'm doing this. And I guess you try to do what you can.
Yeah. But anyways, he's pouting at the party. I mean,
yeah,
but the parents are kind of cool. I mean, they're flipping the burgers. Yeah. He's doing it for all.
But it's all quiet, like they're playing Frank Sinatra music, and it's all
a funny scene.
Because the dad's there, and all the kids are nice and well behaved.
And the mom comes over and says, "Hey, let's beat it and let these kids be kids."
I'd be standing there watching.
Well, first of all, I don't know if I'd have I'd probably have a party with the kids if I was. But anyways, he says, "Here, you're in charge."
Gives it some guy here. He's touching my grill.
Exactly.
And
they go up to bed and all that and stuff. And meanwhile, Jesse's over there pouting at the table.
Right. And when the parents
goes in the changing room.
Right. And when the parents leave, the party starts.
Well, no.
Yeah.
Well, okay, but
the parents go upstairs.
Okay, well, they go into that scene. Okay, then they shoot. And you're right. It's funny though. All the kids are looking up at their window with the light on.
As soon as the light goes out.
And they're like this. They're all just looking. The lights go off. They go,
yeah, party! And they're still awake.
Yeah, but they turn the different music on.
They've got wagons with ice and coolers.
Yeah, beer's coming in. The dancing's part. The shirts are coming off.
Yeah, man. Like every guy's got a chick sitting on his lap. I mean, this is
heck yeah,
heaven on earth. Except that, and here's where we get into some interesting
and he
stuff.
He goes, this is getting pretty loud down there. She goes, let them. They're kids. Be kids.
people have to get some rest.
Funny.
So yeah, Jesse goes into the cabana.
Oh yeah,
and Lisa follows after him.
Got some stuff going down in there,
and he starts trying to explain. There's I don't know what's wrong. I'm ruining your party.
Yeah, I mean, you do feel sorry for him. I mean, he's going through.
He's cracking up.
Oh yeah, he's cracking up. He don't know what's going on. I mean,
right? He can't tell. When he's awake, when it's asleep, what's happening. Something's taking hold of him, and he's already feels that he's the one who killed Snyder.
Right.
And he's keeping that in. He doesn't know, if it's him, if it's Freddy, what have you.
Exactly.
So, but they start kind of making out a little bit.
He had some cool parents.
Yeah, he kind of starts getting the shirt off a little, and he's working his way down, and and then this is what can be taken as
they get close, and the whole makeout scene is kind of I mean,
that big ugly gray tongue comes.
Yeah, he works that because they're into it, and she's like,
but maybe this is a little bit of the homosexual trying to fight the homosexual urge thing. Maybe it's that's like him fighting it. He's trying to do it the way that society says you're supposed to do it.
Yeah,
and then he backs off, and who's the person that he runs to? When he leaves there, he runs right over to Ron Grady's house, who wasn't able to go to the party because he's grounded. He runs straight over to him.
Good point. Yeah.
And
poor Lisa
somehow
she was just
breaks into his house. And
imagine being a girl and you're working your way down there, and then it's all.
Yeah, because that tongue came out. He'd given her the ride of her life.
But I mean,
But
that was a disturbing big old cow tongue.
But that's what he's always saying. It's coming through again. It's happening again. It's trying to come out of me again.
You gotta love when he does run in Ron's room.
Yeah, I mean, he just jumps right on pounces on him on the bed.
Yeah, and he's got no shirt on. He's in there, and he's like, "What's going on, man?" Yeah. I mean, he says you gotta basically the
usual thing. Stay awake. Watch me sleep.
Watch me sleep.
If something happens, let me know.
And typical, he does for a little while, and then he goes, "Screw this crap, I'm going." And I got to throw out there how I love I'm always throwing out my '80s stuff, man. I love the room. I love the posters. How you used to be able to get the big old posters of all your favorite bands, put them up on the wall, crooked style, all over the place. Good old TV in the background.
I know he had Bowie. He had
a couple like odd ones I never even heard of before. Back in the '80s, man, you had a million artists in every genre that just because they all bring out an album. Everybody and their sister and brother, mother, fathers, and friends.
Yeah, you hooked me up with all that music. I had like 8 gigs of '80s music that's never been released on CD. It's taking me a little while to go through it all. Yeah, but there's some really good stuff in there. So that's the thing. Even if you find like one artist or one album that you really like, to me, it's worth it. So
heck yeah,
9 Circles, great stuff. So yeah, he falls asleep on the chair. Jesse falls asleep on the chair.
And the minute Ronnie falls out and goes to sleep, Jesse's up.
Right. It's happening again. It's happening again. And it's he starts covering himself he's going through like a physical,
Right. Well, there's a reason for that, I guess, in a couple minutes.
Yeah, because Freddy's going to start working his way through, being reborn through his body.
Yeah, basically, Ronnie's locked in the room, his bedroom. Parents are even knocking on the door and stuff, and Jesse's turning into Freddy. Freddy's claws are coming through the fingers. And it's opening up. You see it slicing right down.
The sweater. You see the sweater underneath. That's
cool.
I
mean, it's like Freddy's trying to push through his body.
That's a cool effect. Just when his arm splits open, there's the sweater. I think that's really bitching.
Which he eventually does. Mm-hmm. And the head, breaks through, and he breaks through his body.
Cool effect. Yep. Freddy is in effect in the house.
And basically kills Ronnie. I mean, and but this is the part I don't understand. I mean, from this part on, it's like they said, okay, when they do see him, they're going to see him as Freddy. Because the next thing he's back at the party again.
Yeah, he kind of hops. Yeah, because I think.
But later on, we'll get to it. But yeah, I think from basically this point on, he's seen as Freddy. He's roaming the neighborhood.
Yeah,
he's not.
It's not making.
He's not Jesse.
But I do enjoy the part where he does burst out. You see the eye in the back of Jesse's throat.
Heck yeah.
The head pushing through. But come on, I mean. There's I forget which Friday the 13th movie. Maybe it's 4, where Freddy's making a pizza out of all the victims. Or I think in part 5.
Well, you know what? That's kind of cool.
He jumps into a comic book. I'm just saying, people badmouth this movie
so
much.
Yeah, I mean,
the annoying kid in New Nightmare.
We can point out stuff in even the best movies out there. You can,
but I love them all for all their faults.
Exactly. I mean, this is the franchise and all. If you love the Freddy Krueger character,
I do.
You're gonna watch every movie. You're gonna love it. You're gonna have ones that are worse than the others. Right. But
I just love how everyone embraced him. So people loved him. Kids dressing up as it's a child murderer. Like I said at the beginning of the podcast, I know. I think that is just so sick.
It's overlooked because it's overlooked because it's a Halloween character now. I know.
I mean, Jason kills a bunch of kids.
Right.
Michael Myers kills a bunch of kids. Chucky kills a bunch of, but he's a child murderer, molester, murderer.
But the thing is, in the movies,
and we've embraced him. We love him.
But the thing in the movies is they've just referenced that. They didn't show it. I think if they would have shown him killing kids and stuff like that, it would have been a whole different thing. Who knows? I don't know. But
that's what we can do with a prequel now. Yeah, let's do that.
There you go. But anyway,
he kills Ron.
Yeah, and he runs to.
Well, after he kills Ron, we see Freddy kill Ron.
Right.
But then after that, it's back to Jesse. He looks in the mirror and sees Freddy. And that's just another thing. Who's who? Is that
right? Freddy's taunting him in the mirror, kind of thing.
Is Jesse so psycho? Does he see Freddy?
But why did he come out of the body, and why at the party?
Maybe that was just a manifestation in Jesse's mind of what happened.
But why?
Because Jesse's body would have been all ripped open and stuff, and now Jesse's back fully organs back in his body.
We'll get to that when we get to the party.
Just saying, maybe he was just crazy.
Well, he shows up at Lisa. Well, I don't know. Who knows? But he ends up back at Lisa's house,
right?
And he's got blood all over himself, and he's Jesse.
I killed Ron.
Even though Freddy Krueger, alien out of his body, it's Jesse there and talking to her. So, and he's crying like a little woman.
But think about it. I mean, this is there's the whole homosexual thing, but then there's also maybe he's just a really sick kid. And got wind of the story of Freddy, and he's just using that as his, excuse why he's doing the things he's doing. And maybe Freddy coming out of him was just, in his mind what was happening to him, because he came out, tore his body all apart when Freddy came out, and then all of a sudden Jesse's all back together again.
But then let me get to the point though. We now we're at the party.
Yeah.
Okay, and things start. Freddy's showing up.
Hot dogs
are firing.
The beers are shooting out.
The pool starts bubbling.
Oh yeah, the pool's getting off. Someone turn the temperature down in the pool.
I'm getting burnt. But I mean it's everything's just,
and in the house stuff's going on too. Like the fish tank starts boiling.
Yeah, because she's got because Jesse and Lisa's in there, and that bursts, and so wait. Was this where they start showing the record melt and all that too, or
no? The record melt was in Jesse's room.
That was earlier.
Yeah, that was
okay. That was a cool effect too when Jesse's all the heat.
That was like when he woke up and like the helmet on his lamp was all melted. Yeah, the candle was all melted.
Right.
But yeah, all this stuff starts happening at the pool party,
and this is what gets me though, because
the gate gets locked, the doors of the parents' room get locked, and it's like some phantom doing it.
Yeah, and
can't really explain
when they see Jesse or whatever, they don't see Jesse, they see Freddy Krueger, right?
Do they say that?
They do. I pretty much.
Yeah.
They don't say, "Hey, that's Jesse."
Yeah, you're
Jesse's getting Lisa. Let's save her.
All the doors start like this.
It's Freddy Krueger.
It's messed up. You can't even make sense of this movie when you friggin' try.
Yeah.
All right. I'm a college-educated man, and I can't make no sense of this damn movie. But
I'm nitpicking here, so I mean, I just don't get that. Yeah, I
love it though. I don't know. There's so much that I love in this movie.
It's great. I mean, yeah.
And don't you love when he's with Lisa first before he runs off from the cabana?
Mm-hmm.
He goes straight to if we're going with the whole gay thing.
Yeah.
He goes to Ron, who we assume he's attracted to, and he goes there right when he thinks Freddy's going to pop out of him. He's going to kill him. Why do you do that? Why don't you stay with Lisa? Because then when he gets back to Lisa's place, it's happening again. Yeah. It's happening again. And then, Freddy pops out. Well, we don't see it pop out, but behind the desk, we see Freddy rise. And you're right. I mean, I assume she sees Freddy. I mean, we got to assume she sees Freddy in the real world now, manifested in the real world.
Yeah.
And she's trying to get out of the house, but all the doors are locked.
and he's taking off after her, and then
they have like a little they wrestle a bit on the ground, and
and it is funny.
He bites her on the leg like a junkyard dog.
He bites her on the leg. Yes,
I mean he's got claws on his.
He's
hands,
a mad dog,
but he's gonna bite her leg instead of just cutting the hamstring.
Unbelievable.
And then you got her right where you want
this guy.
Yeah, he bites her on the leg.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, and he does go like this because he's just got the little blades in there. He doesn't have the claws. And because Jesse's got him. He's borrowing them from him for a while. He'll give them back.
Here, I was just using them.
Please give me my claw back.
Yeah, so she gets the idea. He's knocking dishes off the shelf. He's throwing a tantrum, and she gets a knife. And she does stab him several times, but it's just like to no effect.
Yeah, it's like it's going into nothing.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Like right on the heart. But she's stabbing him in the right spot.
A little later on, when the whole scene, you'll notice that, which we'll get to at that part of the movie. But I love the close up of.
But when she's doing that, it's like
Jesse's cool effects.
Jesse's starting to break through a little bit. You're like, I love you, Lisa. I love you. Not I love you, Ron. It's I love you, Lisa.
Right.
So it's like he's struggling. Like it's a dual personality thing. Like he's struggling to. But
you can hear the voices.
Jesse or Freddy during these parts. No one says it's Freddy. I don't think she ever says Freddy. I just watched this afternoon, and I don't think she says Freddy. Correct me if I'm wrong, somebody out there.
But I'm telling you,
but no one ever says Jesse either. I mean, Freddy Krueger's in this movie for like 10 minutes. Yeah, that's another complaint about.
But there's 50 to 100, however many people are at this party. And they're not saying Jesse is going after Lisa, killing her. They didn't go to the police when the police showed up and stuff after saying, hey, Jesse did this. You know what I mean? Because he's although the way it ends too. I mean, I don't know. We'll keep going here. I mean,
I think maybe they were trying for something, but
he didn't kill Lisa, and he does jump through the glass.
Yeah.
And as he jumps through the glass,
I think Jesse stopped him from doing that.
Right.
Jesse's trying to take over a little bit. Lisa was trying to explain to him that in the diary before this happened, that Nancy stopped him.
Yeah.
With a sledgehammer. With the sledgehammer. But I mean, that also, Freddy was also in the real world in the original one as well. So, but that was done a particular way to finally kill him, to bring him into our world so that she could kill him. Here, Freddy just wants to get into the real world to kill people.
Right.
Freddy didn't want to get into the real world in the first one.
Exactly.
He was brought in.
Exactly.
So but in this one, he wants to get into the real world. He's brought in and
trying to find a way. I think people didn't know. I don't think they knew.
Party, he starts going.
I don't think they knew how to go from the first movie to the second, and they just because then they got back on course. You know what I mean? But this one, I think,
turn him into a Jason or a Michael. Or
I think so.
Like a physical being,
right? Which didn't, work.
That's not what There were rules, in the first one.
Oh, there's rules in all these creatures and villains and
sort of
movie maniac character. You
got Jason. Evidently, you can hack him up into pieces, hang him, electrocute him, catch him on fire, whatever. He just comes back. Whatever. It's my least favorite franchise. Maybe we'll do it next. I don't know.
Yeah.
Get it out of the way.
But anyways, I do love how he crashes through the glass.
Yeah,
and he disappears.
He's so short compared to all the other kids. Like he's actually pretty short. And that's another thing I think is bad.
Which one was it? It was in the first one where he's got the long hands.
Yeah, the long arms.
And he looks like a little kid.
But I mean, with so many people around. You think anybody could have done anything to stop him?
Well, don't you like how at the party
it's like 100 to 1?
Don't you like how the tough guy? I don't know who he is.
He's trying to help.
Hey, man, calm down.
Yeah, just be cool, dude.
Cool, dude. What do you want? I'm here to help, to get you some help.
Oh yeah, Dad's busting open the can. He's getting his shotgun. Why can't
he's gonna shoot?
He's got to break the glass and potentially cut himself. And you can just open the cabinet.
Yeah, you don't know where the keys at. Yeah, it's his house.
Well, I mean, it's not like there's any children in the house. I mean, there's teenagers. I mean, well, whatever. I guess you got to keep your guns locked.
Yeah.
But it does have the classic line in it when he's throwing all the kids around and stuff outside.
Yeah.
When he throws his arms up and says, "You are all my children."
With the fire coming up in the back of his head.
Cool, I mean, that's a classic line. Everybody knows that line from Freddy. And this was still Freddy. This wasn't, tell a joke and be smarky kind of Freddy. This was still scary Freddy.
Yeah, they were trying to still be serious, I would imagine.
And that part when the dad comes out to blast him with the shotgun and the flames are going up, he looks wicked in that scene. And just badass skulking around and finally just walks right out.
I love how he just walks right out too. He walks right out through the
he doesn't clean up any of the shit that he threw around and just walks right out in a flame.
Yeah,
which is maybe that's not the flame.
Here's a flamer, and they're like, what the?
Everybody is standing around kind of dumbfounded. So something was going on that they are not going to talk about from here on.
Yep, and then we basically, I think Lisa kind of figures, hey, I'm going
back to his old stomping grounds.
I'm going to go back to the factory where all this happened.
Plant. That's probably where he is.
Yeah, but she's thinking this is where Jesse ran to, or is this where Freddy is? Or
if Freddy has taken over, that's where Freddy would go.
It's a thin line. Yeah, I know. Right.
This is where
well, why wouldn't he just keep going on a rampage, killing down Elm Street? Why would he go out of his way
at some point?
I know. The director said, "Hey, we
gotta let's wrap this up.
Let's wrap this up.
Bring it to a close here."
He killed some people at the party.
She's taking Jesse's car,
and I love how I don't know how many years it's been, but there's lights and steam still going, and power still going.
Whereas
a little bit
when they first went there, it wasn't working, and now it seems like there's steam and it's up and running, and
which gets you wondering if it is all just the nightmare still going on. Is this one nightmare from beginning to end?
It ends and it begins. Was
there any reality in between this movie at all? You know what I mean?
It's a good question, because anytime they're in there's a lot of hazy scenes in this movie. There's a lot of.
You guys tell me what you think.
Yeah,
you think this is one big nightmare?
They never reference it again
from beginning to end, or is there some reality in the middle? I mean, you tell me, because you've seen this movie, they start, they end. But let's get back to
I like when she pulls up to the power plant and there's like two dogs with some kind of baby masks on.
Yeah, like faces.
And the dogs are just really ticked off because they have to wear these masks.
Were they masks, or were they
were supposed to be like human heads, but they're masks.
Another thing
that makes no sense.
That would only show up if you were in a nightmare.
Yeah, it makes And
this is Lisa.
Again, there's no reason for those things to exist in the real world. So
I go on record as saying this movie from beginning to end was just one complete nightmare.
And we're not sure whose nightmare it was.
Exactly, because there was just the kids who were in the bus at the beginning and the kids who were on the bus at the end.
So yeah, Lisa, she's wandering through the power plant, steams everywhere, red and green lights. Like Freddy's sweater, red and green lights everywhere. And if we remember, one of the reasons that Wes Craven chose the red and green for the sweaters, because those are the two colors that are the most stressful on the eye.
Right.
I mean, you can look at red and green and it don't bother, but if you were to stare at them for long periods of time, they're very stressful on the eye.
Yeah.
So it was like a subconscious thing to do that. So one part she's climbing up some stairs and sees a rat and screams. I mean, all the other crazy crap that's going on, you're going to scream at a rat. And this weird demonic cat, again, that has no business being in existence.
Which looks like the Reanimator black cat.
Yeah, bring it on back.
That, jumps on his back.
Rufus.
Rufus. Bring Rufus back.
Throw it against the wall.
He's got a cameo in Nightmare 2. I mean,
But, man, we should rerun that one again. That was my favorite. Watch my Reanimator podcast. I love
watch the Reanimator. Yeah, it was going.
But Freddy pops up
and Lisa, they're on the catwalk type thing, and they're
the catwalk.
Yeah, but they're going back and forth.
Oh, remember when her leg? She's running over. This is before she meets up with Freddy. Her leg, and she takes the bandage off, and there's all kinds of ants and stuff all over.
Yeah, and she wipes them
and
off.
Then she looks again, and it's fine.
Another reference to this being a nightmare, or him being in her head. But it just totally makes.
So she and Freddy start kind of clash, and Jesse's starting to sort of break through a little bit. You hear Jesse's voice, and I think he's starting to win out. And Freddy's starting to feel the pain now from the wound, the knife wound that she gave him.
Yeah, and some blood starts coming out of it, and stuff,
some weird ooze.
Yeah, and so I mean,
she's just saying, Jesse, you got to fight.
And this is send
Freddy back where she does referencing Freddy. Send him back to hell where he belongs and all that. So she does see Freddy.
Yeah,
and he's just weakening. It's kind of silly in a way. All
I
this lovey-dovey stuff is just taking away all his power. Fear is what gives him strength.
And the whole time, though, she has some fear here.
But she's standing up. She's getting, a little braver. Yeah. As he's cowering down, as the love is starting to take over, he's becoming weaker, and she's not as afraid to approach him. Yeah, because he's all, and she grabs his hand, And
fighting him.
She's gonna give him the kiss.
Oh,
the kiss of life.
You gotta love this part too.
Yeah, man, she's got a thing for burn dudes.
Oh, your flesh looks so good. Yeah, but she
does, and that's what does it.
Her heart. I mean, man, she's going. She likes this kid, man, and she's going to give him a kiss to
bring him back.
Yeah, if anything will do it, a woman's kiss, man.
That's right.
Get you out of that.
It's the best medicine for her.
Yes, they should sell it at the drugstore.
Mm-hmm. In a little bottle, and with a little pucker.
They have to be standing there somewhere in a corner, but or outside the drugstore on the corner.
Yeah.
But anyways,
what would you charge?
Oh, they got it. What they charge $200-300 now. Anyways,
is that really? I can't afford that.
The next funny thing though too,
you have to use your CVS card when you go.
You do, and you get a discount.
All right, well then maybe.
And any whore you find outside of CVS, she'll take your CVS.
Yeah, if Martha you guys with the cigarette hanging out of her mouth.
If you guys know what a CVS drugstore is around in Northeast Ohio area, they got a little card where you get discounts.
They all got cards.
So yeah.
And then but anyway, special effects part, she kisses him.
And then the strange thing though is, the whole place starts to go up in fire too.
I think fire it's symbolic.
No, of course it is symbolic. I know that.
Freddy, that's what killed him before. This is what's going to kill him again.
Right.
And like all the rails start catching fire. He catches fire.
Yeah.
And he burns up. And what I really love, it's a cool scene, the practical effects they use when he's burning up. And what I like at the end is when he's all just an ashy husk. It's Jesse that rises up and peels off.
It's kind of a cool skin because it's like he was inside of his body.
Symbolic again, and maybe Jesse was Freddy in this dream.
Yeah,
maybe it is a dream.
It's
that's symbolic of him, being free of this now.
Yeah,
free of Freddy, free of the homosexuality. I don't know, but evidently he's straight now because him and Lisa are all hooked up.
Yeah,
and I do really like the end of that scene where he's ripping off all the dead Freddy skin.
Yeah, it's a cool scene.
And whatever they meant by it, I think it's pretty friggin' cool.
Yeah.
And then it ends on the school bus again. They're getting on the bus, and Jesse's all wrapped up. His arms are all wrapped up. Police have not questioned him at all about Snyder or Ron.
Well, don't he? Yeah, exactly. But first he's hollering. He's going because they start speeding up, and he's like,
the bus is going too fast.
And he does stop and pick somebody up. But then
the bus takes off into the desert again.
Yeah.
And this is supposed to take place in a city called Springwood. This movie gives the city where it happens a name, Springwood, Ohio. We don't have no deserts here. And so
yeah.
I mean, we got some barren areas, but we don't have like any deserts.
No
like
desert.
And when they're driving that school bus, you can blatantly see palm trees, and we don't have any palm trees either.
No. But
we're not a temperate zone.
Exactly. But to wrap it up, I mean, it's just
the girl behind him. I forget the Lisa's good friend in the whole movie. Behind him says everything's fine, everything's gonna be fine, and then you just see Freddy's arm and gloved hand just burst out of her chest, and the bus just goes off.
Yep, the same way it began.
Sort of, it began with a dream, end with a dream, and I kind of like your idea. I didn't think about that about the whole film itself being somebody's dream, either. Probably Jesse's.
Not a dream, it's a nightmare, man.
A nightmare. It is a nightmare.
Dreams can be good.
So there's a lot of ways to look at this movie than a typical horror movie. You've got the, straight up bad horror movie sequel way to look at it, where Freddy's being brought into the real world and it shouldn't have been because it goes against the rules. You've got the homosexual aspect of it, which I don't know if any of those things were intentional, but I've heard that they were. But by the writer, but maybe not by the director. And so I'd be curious to know, how much of that really was intentional. Like if there were any talks about that.
Yeah, I mean, you said he had a documentary about this.
Yeah, the actor that played Jesse. I think I don't know if it's just career spanning or because
I'd like to see if anybody touched up actually. I mean, because if you do some research online. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen anything say exactly. That, hey, this is one big nightmare from beginning to end, what's going on.
But I like that theory too, because the way it begins and the way it ends and how some, those scenes at the end there, I mean, whether you just take it at face value that all these horror things were manifesting in the real world. Right. Freddy's one thing, but then you've got these weird dogs and you've got this weird cat and all this
too many things that just it's like
it makes more sense that it's a dream. I like that.
Right, without a doubt.
So Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge, the redheaded stepchild of the original series. Very low rated, critically panned, but starting to develop a little bit of a cult following, not just in gay communities, but I think in horror fans as well. There's a lot to like, and I think when you look at it again, there's more than one way to view the movie, and maybe there's a reason why it was never referenced again in any of the other movies, because then it starts like a 3 or 4 movie cycle where it's maybe different actors, but it's same characters in the few movies. So. But Nightmare on Elm Street is probably like my favorite of the popular horror movie franchises. It is.
Right.
Probably followed by Halloween.
Same here. Maybe. Freddy. I love the character. Yeah. I love he did everything right when he created it. It was
something
very,
completely
very cool.
new and different, and it's the icon that has lasted.
Yeah, Pat, if you're there, you can give me a call, Skype.
And I think it's the last really great idea. What better? There hasn't been another icon. There hasn't been another movie maniac, we could say, that has stood the test of time.
Right.
Maybe you could say Jigsaw or Ghostface from the Scream films, but Jigsaw wasn't always played by the same person. Sometimes it was someone else after that was doing the traps in the Saw movies. And while you're typing there while I'm talking.
Oh, I'm just, if they got any questions, man, let me know.
Any good questions up there?
Put us up.
Or Ghostface.
Said Pat, you could call if you want. You let me know here if you're still on there. Skype me.
Right.
If not, Zombie Slayer, go ahead, give me a call, man, if you want to chat for a few. Yeah, give me a call.
I was just going to end by saying Ghostface was always, played by a different person either, whereas Freddy was always, the same person. Michael Myers was always Michael Myers. Chucky, Jason, always the same character.
Right.
So.
Okay, hey, we got
who's on the horn?
Pat, horror movie review guy on here with us. What's up, man?
Hey.
Sorry about that. I just had my volume up there. It's a great show, guys. It was a lot of fun. Can you hear me okay?
Oh yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, definitely good.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. I was shouting Kim Myers because I'm like, that's one of my girls, from the Nightmare series.
Oh heck yeah, I saw that. You were referencing that a couple times. It was she's a looker, man. That's for sure.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
And she looks like the girl from that played Sylvia in the Truman Show, but I forget that actress's name.
Sure. Yeah.
Do you remember the girl that he actually?
I don't remember the girl in the movie.
You know what? It might be her. She's done.
It's
not. Okay.
No, I know it's not, but she looks.
She's done quite a bit of a lot of movies. I'd have to IMDb her to see, but
I didn't check that out. I don't know.
So, what do you think about the whole Nightmare thing? What do you think, Pat?
Or maybe it's just a bad movie.
Nightmare to me, which one? Number 2 specifically?
Oh yeah, the one we just did. I'm thinking, hey, it starts off with one scene, goes to the next.
Begins and ends with
the bus
dream.
Yeah. So I'm thinking it's just one big nightmare from beginning to end. It doesn't make any sense otherwise.
The first one for that matter. So.
Well, I think the beauty of it is you can look at it in so many different ways, right? So no way of looking at it is right or wrong. But the arguments that people get in, like the friendly disputes that people get into it with each other, is kind of like the beauty of it. My take on it is the same take I would look, or how I would look at part 1, where it was a nightmare at the beginning, whereas the first nightmare started off with a nightmare,
right?
And then at the end of the movie, there was that ambiguous question. So did it in fact happen? Is it actually over, or did it continue? The way I looked at both is the movie was the movie, and it did conclude. But if you go in retrospect, looking at the deal with the dream demons, it was solved, but he came back. It just wasn't. It just kept going. So that's just how I look at it. I think there is a completion and then a continuation.
Okay, well, yeah,
It's
one take on it.
It's just at least a few different ways to look at it, and that's what's really cool about it.
Yeah,
it's not a great movie, but it's unique in that there's a few ways to look at it, which I think makes it a cut above some of the others.
Yeah.
So.
And as far as like comparing it to the other slashers and stuff like that, the difference for me with the Nightmare movies and why they are on top for me is because there are only elements of the other slashers that I like, as opposed to the overall world that A Nightmare on Elm Street creates. It's like this little village of it's a one long street, and apparently everybody lives on it. But anyway, it's this one specific area, and it's almost like legend, and then legend is born out of legend, and that's unique. Whereas Mike Myers, the beginning, the 1 and 2 was fine. That was good enough.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and then Jason and Friday the 13th is what it is. It's you know what you're gonna get. So if you're into it, you're gonna get it, and if you're not, you're not. But it doesn't create the same world. No way.
Right. Yeah, I think that's how it goes with all the Jason, Michael Myers, Freddy. I mean, you're gonna get what you're gonna get. But some movies, like this movie, just shoots off a little bit.
I think just the fact that it takes place in dreams and you're not safe. Even when you're asleep, when you're at your most vulnerable, that's what makes it so interesting and frightening. That's my take anyway. When you're asleep, you're your most vulnerable, and that's when you're in the most danger in those films.
Heck yeah, I had night terrors growing up, so I can kind of see where the whole nightmare thing, man, it does get to you.
Sta awake pills and coffee.
Yeah, plenty of no-dos.
What's interesting, I didn't know this, was that, or I never spotted it. Ted, I think you mentioned it, was that, or you were both talking about it, was that they reused the film of them doing push-ups. I didn't know that. I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I just noticed the same girl walking by, the same dark-haired girl walked by. Like, God damn.
I gotta spot that next time. I didn't know that.
Yep, funny.
Usually I'm good at spotting that.
And then just him wearing the same clothes in so many of the scenes. Like, he wears this up, and then it's the next day, and he's wearing it again. It's like, do you not... No one has any clean clothes. No one's unpacked yet.
Yeah. Well,
I know it.
Took him forever to get the clothes out of the box and into the drawer.
Yes, sir.
Oh man, and so many good scenes. There were a couple really good scenes in there. I mean, weird, but I thought very good. I mean, something to talk about.
And then there's that documentary, the Never Sleep Again.
The best part about it.
And that that goes into some of it, and they touch on the homosexual aspect of it. But everybody who makes a documentary, they got an agenda, they've got a point that they want to get across. So I'm anxious to see what his documentary would say about it.
Definitely, yeah. Curious to see. What were you gonna say, Pat?
I love when he's putting his clothes away and all that. And he's pouring the whatever's in the boxes, some clothes and trinkets, and he's like acting rebellious, like yeah. And I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, so we have messy drawers. What's the attitude about it? I don't know. I kind of thought that was funny.
How do you like that, Dad?
You know what I mean? Like, take that. Like, okay, so.
Yeah, because that's even what he says. How do you like that, Dad? Okay.
Yeah, very odd, very strange. Yeah.
And another thing, like, it was funny that, like, I don't know if you saw the perspective video, but I actually drew red lines under all the dangers that were going on in that schoolyard at once. And
yeah,
the craziest thing isn't that there's a baseball field beside it, as nuts as that would be. But there's people jogging right behind where they're at that moment.
Oh yeah,
a big circle, like. What is that?
It's just a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's, like I said, there's plenty of stuff in this movie that when you look back on it, you can usually pick at a lot of things. Like I said, even good movies, but this one there's a lot of stuff you can really pick out. It was fun. It was fun. Yeah.
I know, it just makes me question, like, what's the policy of the school and what do they keep people of? Like, they bring hearts to the school. Oh man, like they don't mess around.
Yeah. Yeah, there was no. I didn't see no refrigeration unit or nothing.
No, that's what
we
were talking about.
Maybe the hearts from one of the students that was jogging behind the.
Could be
stinking.
Yeah, somebody got it in the head.
It didn't even look like a heart. I've seen hearts. It didn't look like any heart I've ever seen. Like a chopstick.
Yeah. Maybe that's what they did. They cut some scenes, so why not just go out and get the cheapest piece of meat you could there, huh?
Maybe they cut the wrong scenes. I don't know.
Nah. Unreal.
But for all its nitpicking and everything, it's cool.
I mean, hey,
I love the whole series. The original series up to New Nightmare, and I thought, like I was saying, I love that's probably part 2 is probably like my favorite movie poster. Love.
The poster's good. Yeah,
they all had great posters, but Nightmare 2 I just like that where he's holding the girl and the claws are sticking out.
Yeah, but a twisted tale for sure, and one to dissect, and who knows if we'll ever figure it out. I don't know.
I don't understand why it gets such a bad rap. I guess more because like what you get with number 1, they're expecting number 2 to kind of be the same thing, but it was gutsy to do what they did, and I think it's one of the darker films.
Yeah, absolutely, and well, maybe another reason is that Freddy's really not. I think I read online he's in it for 13 minutes.
Yeah,
he's in the movie. He's physically in the movie for 13 minutes. It's not a lot in an hour and a half movie. So
yeah, and like you said, not too much joking around. I mean, they get a little bit more, fun in the other movies, but
they broke all the rules from the first one, so maybe it just confused people when it first came out, and the fact that he wasn't in it as much.
What's your opinion on this? Do you think, as a result of this and not being received well, do you think this springboarded the ideas that came out as like in the final result of Dream Warriors? Like how do you think that influenced that movie?
Yeah, I think they
made a change.
Yeah, I think they wanted to take it back to the dream state, and plus Frank Darabont was one of the writers on 3, and we already know he's got some skills, so he probably definitely wanted to take it back to the it's more frightening when it's in the dreams.
Oh yeah,
and they brought Nancy back. That would bring the fans back too, and John Saxon, and it turned out to be a great sequel.
Yep.
Actually probably my favorite of the whole series. I really love Dream Warriors.
Yep.
For all its 80s cheesiness and everything. I do love it. So
that's what I love.
Yeah, I think maybe some fans of the series, got hold of started writing a script. So yeah, I think that definitely made an impact on 3.
Yeah, because that's what I saw. I know that Dream Warriors initially wasn't really getting big at the box office, and I figured, I wasn't that old. I guess I would have been 4 when Dream Warriors came out, so it's not like I was paying attention. But now, when I look back on like the IMDb page, like I see a drop, and then I guess that's a result of number 3. But I guess whatever hype that up, and number 4 is definitely inferior to number 3, but that made far more money. So they kind of bounce off each other's previous success all the time.
Right. Usually sequels do less, but I think they got part 2 out so quick after part 1. It came out like I said, almost a year to the day of, I think the first one came out in November of 84. Part 2 came out in November of 85.
Yeah,
they were riding the coattails.
Oh yeah, it was such a big thing
maybe that's why it ended up making, it cost $3 million to make, made $30 million.
Yeah.
So, and then maybe, some word of mouth, another one's come out, the last one stunk.
Oh, it was still fresh in everybody's mind a year later.
Like 2 years later. I think that one came out maybe 86, 87, something like that. Maybe that's why, because usually sequels don't do as well as the originals, but these days, horror movies just make a ton of money.
Yeah.
They're practically, relatively cheap to make, and they have a big return. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one thing about, like not going into the remake in terms of the story, but just the look of it, it's amazing what you can achieve. And I know in my videos and stuff, I harp on practical effects and stuff like that, but this is practical, but it's just simplistic with a little bit of lighting and a little bit of, I think it was some sort of thick latex. They get to do the over the bed shot, and just with correct lighting, you get that nice shadowing. And the thing is, you know, like, of course it's a movie, but you know that there's actually a man there doing that, and that's different than looking at, and I didn't like the look of it anyways, but in the new one, when they repeat that scene where Freddy's over Nancy's bed with the claw, I thought it looked more like a wave than like a stretching. It looked like I don't know, it's hard to explain, like just like a wave, water wave on a.
Do you mean when he's coming through the wall?
Yeah,
because they in the original, they used latex or spandex. They used spandex, which was a brand new material at that time. And that just had a real cool effect. No one had ever seen something like that before. And spandex was brand new.
I could see the waviness coming off of that kind of.
Right. And the original, and then in the remake, you're saying, they just used like a little CGI. They couldn't do it the exact same way. They did their own little thing, but it did look like a water wave under the wall like that.
Yeah.
But you know what's interesting about that is, and it's often not discussed, but the sound of a movie, not the music and things like that, but just the effects and the Foley and things like that. And the interesting thing to me that draws me into the original, as opposed to the remake, amongst other reasons, but is the sound that it has to create. In the new one, there's no way they can reflect that type of sound of a latex, even though people think it's a wall, a curing look, whereas you get the low hums and tones from the original. And they lose not only the texture and organic part of the movies, but they also miss out on the organic types of sound, because then they're forced to kind of create a sound effect that's kind of abstract as opposed to real and organic. And I've always had a problem with that in movies.
Yeah, it's actually good to hear you say that. I agree with that 100%. That's, I love the practical effects and the sound effects. That's an art form in itself, not just the guys who do the practical effects.
Oh yeah, it's
coming up with the sound.
Big part of the movie. Yeah, I mean, you take a lot of the other like
now
Halloween.
You can punch it out of a machine now, but
exactly. Yeah. Oh well. Hey, Pat, I'm going to get ZS5 on here just for a few, because Ted, we can't do like a whole long thing here, because but I want to get him on real quick just to talk for a few minutes, and then we'll probably end it. So
yeah, no problem, guys. Hey, great show. I enjoyed watching it. Thanks for letting me call in.
No problem, man.
Yeah, I like doing this, afterwards. We should do that a little bit more often now that
I think so.
Set up
yeah.
It's cool to kind of talk with other people about it afterwards.
Yeah, totally awesome. Well, I'll keep watching you guys until the end, and have a good night, guys. Talk to you on the page.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot, Pat.
All right. Talk to you later. Bye.
Okay. Yeah, that was a horror movie review guy, Pat. So he's always
cool guy.
Yeah, very cool guy. So I'm going to get Zombie Slayer on here to. There we go. We're going to talk just a few minutes with him. Hey man, how you doing? Zombie Slayer. You there, buddy? Nope. Didn't get on. I don't know.
Oh man, it's like Art Bell running the phone.
Hello?
Hey, you there, man?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, no problem. ZS5 Productions, man. Zombie Slayer. What's going on, bud?
What's up? Nothing much. What's up, guys?
Not much. We only got a few minutes here. We can't, stay a long time because Ted, but whatever.
That's fine.
I'm a baby.
He's a baby. He's got to get to bed. He's got an early morning. He's got a term paper to do later on. No. Yeah. Somebody said about the reboot though. I mean, I think they are talking about the whole remaking, Freddy vs. Jason again.
Why? Why did they do it in the first place?
What are you thinking about that?
I honestly liked Freddy vs. Jason, but that's just my opinion. But
anyway, I know.
Yeah, it's remember in like 2007 when like Halloween came out, and then like Friday 13th and then Nightmare on Elm Street, all those started coming out. It's weird. I feel like that's happening again because they're announcing Halloween Returns, the Freddy reboot, and then I think another
Jason movie is coming out too. So
they're taking too long for another Jason movie.
It's been.
They don't usually wait this long. I don't know what's so hard about making one of those movies.
Well, I mean,
it's not that complicated.
Yeah, they were talking about doing a found footage type movie, which may have been interesting, but those are kind of been done. And how hard is it to turn out one of those stories? It's not like they're plot heavy. You just want to see kids get their heads chopped off.
Pretty much,
Yeah, I heard about the Nightmare reboot. And I just wish they would go and, like I said at the beginning of the podcast, do a prequel called Fred Krueger. Get Robert Englund on board to play him before all this happened. And let's see how bad he was.
Well, I like to know what's the whole problem with getting creating a character. I mean, how come we haven't found one in so long? I mean,
ideas are tough to catch sometimes. That's magic.
Well, I mean,
last one I can remember.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been since the 80s, really. I mean, those three characters. Right, I think I've brought up like Jeepers Creepers. I just because I really like them.
Right.
And there's another one coming out, so there's a third movie coming out. But I mean, I just don't understand how they haven't really grasped a hold of a new character that they can bring along.
To build something from scratch. That's a little tough, and it takes a special person to do that. I think. I don't know if we've got the talent out there now for it, or maybe people that do have talent can't get a break.
I think that's it. I think these big studios and stuff like that aren't giving people who really have that creative, spark the chance to be able to do these movies.
Yeah, like our guest was saying here, they're rebooting them all again. So
yeah.
We're going to have another Chucky movie coming, which I'm all for that little doll. So,
I think us horror fans are going to love watching, they make a new Michael Myers, they make a new Jason. We're going to watch them. I mean, how are we not? You know what I mean? So
I'm going to make another Halloween. It's going to screw up my box set. Sit on my shelf.
They'll be able to bring out another one.
Damn it. It's going to mess up my box set.
That is funny as heck.
It says complete collection.
And Ted's the type to where he needs to get the good packaged DVD box sets.
DVD?
Or
you think I'm a caveman walking around with my knuckles dragging on the ground?
Oh, is it just Blu-ray?
Yeah, it's Blu-ray.
See, I'm even out of that because I everything goes on my hard drive. I mean, I don't have DVDs or Blu-rays anymore.
Yeah,
so
you just wait till that all gets corrupted and you can't watch what you want to watch.
Oh, there'll be a way.
So I'll take me and Ted will be sitting back laughing and watching our actual DVDs.
Right, I've got my little.
You know what? Hey, I'll come get them from you then, if I need be. Yeah, but
speaking of box sets, I bought one at the dollar store. This is probably the weirdest assortment of movies. I swear. There's Prom Night, Puppet Master, some movie called Curtains, Hellraiser 5. Children of the Corn 5, Halloween H2O, Dracula 2, and The Howling 4.
And this was a box set?
Yeah, it's called 10 Movie Cult Classics. I had to pick it up just how crazy it was.
Well, there's some good ones on there, but
Curtains I've heard of. Curtains I've heard of. I never saw it though. Puppet Master, we just did a podcast on that.
Yeah.
So we love that one.
Yeah, that's a strange combination. That's
for
sure.
Children of the Corn 1.
Yeah, I never took it any farther than the first one either.
That kid freaked me out. So I forget that.
Good movie though. I mean,
I don't know. Malachi, you got the big redhead running around, and that little kid.
Well, you gotta love him. He's
I drove right out of that.
Hey,
town.
The Burbs, man. Come on. Hey, are you a fan of The Burbs?
With Tom Hanks?
Yes.
Yeah, I like that movie.
Oh, I pop that in every year, man. Actually, more than once
podcast.
A year.
That was a good one.
Burbs. I mean, I can quote just about every line in that movie, man.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a fun one to do.
Yeah. I love just about every movie Corey Feldman's in. So.
Fantastic.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, we did The Lost Boys. We did Burbs.
I love The Lost
Boys. I think those are the only two Corey Feldman, right?
I don't know. What?
Whatever. Yeah.
The Lost Boys. You get me on that one. That guy all greased up with the saxophone.
You know what? Yeah, Ted just
I have to turn it off.
He can't get by the guy playing the saxophone. It just disturbs him
way
too much.
Yeah. What? That's more gay than the whole movie that we just talked about.
No. Hey, I love The Lost Boys, though, man. That movie's great. So, and way, I'm way into the 80s movies. So,
yes, you are.
Yeah, so whatever. As where you will let one little thing bother you. I mean,
it's not a little thing. He's on there for like 5 minutes.
I don't even know who you're talking about, honestly.
He doesn't know.
Oh, God, at the beginning of Lost Boys, when they go to
the boardwalk and there's a concert going on, and the guy who's singing, he's topless, he's got chains, he's got his hair pulled back, and he's all oiled up with
He's
Crisco.
playing a saxophone.
Oh, that guy.
And he's wailing on that saxophone like he's
Yeah.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
And people are getting into that?
And the director pulled him aside and just took some baby oil and just squirted it all over his body. I mean, I don't know.
Like, can't we just get like one shot of him and that's enough? Okay, then we'll pay him to go watch something. No, he keeps going back to it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
I think it was the music and the song had to be played out for a while
for
that
whole experience
scene.
for me.
So I don't know what to say, Ted. Poor
but
guy.
I don't know. I don't know why that movie never grabbed me. I don't know. And I saw it a bunch of times. I just don't know why.
Nah.
I won't have to watch it again for 20 years.
There you go.
Whatever.
Poor Ted. I made him watch it for the podcast.
Well, you've made me watch some bad movies, dude.
Yeah, hey.
Watch Planet of Vampires, man. You see what he makes me watch.
Me and Ted have some. Well, I think that's what makes it good. I mean, it's just some that he hates, some that I hate, and we still discuss it.
You hated Reanimator. I don't get that.
Wait, you hated Reanimator?
Yeah, he gave it like a C.
It's not, hey, I have to admit, I mean, it wasn't one of my favorites.
Barbara Crampton naked in it.
Well, there were some good.
It's not one of my favorites, but I still really like it.
Dude,
no, I liked it too.
I
mean,
backpedal.
No, when I was watching it, I was sitting here going, "Man, this ain't that great of a movie." So I'll stick with that. I mean, and when we went through it, I mean,
man, I even bought a special green Blu-ray case to put my sleeve in, just so it would be green.
Yeah,
because it's like the reagent's green, the case has to be green.
We wanted to do a little reagent when we were doing the podcast too, but closest thing was like Mountain Dew or something.
Yeah, like the Mountain Dew Slurpee at Taco Bell. Was like the closest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but oh well, we couldn't do it. So what are you gonna do?
I know.
Yeah, like me and Pat disagree over whether or not Friday 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street 4 is like good. He says he really likes it. I think it's okay. So kind of same thing.
It was probably the last of the decent ones. 5 is not as good. 6, pretty universally not liked. I like them all though. I mean, well, there's things that I like.
Right.
I'm entertained.
There's something good in everyone.
Whereas I don't really get into those Jason movies. I mean, I can watch them. I've seen them all.
Right. Same here.
But I'm like, what's the friggin' point?
No, and I got to the point to where I just, I put in just the first one every
I didn't even
year
think
for
the
Halloween.
remake was all that bad.
I mean,
why do people hate it? I mean, it's no different than any of the others. And I liked how they tried to put like the first two together and make some. At least there was some story and some characters you might have gave a rat's ass about. And it probably had one of the best TNA scenes in it. And
well, they all did.
Placement. I mean, what movie's got that line in it? So, I mean, I didn't hate it.
Right.
I mean, I kind of feel like you just need to own that one and you're done.
Yeah.
You own that, Jason versus Freddy and all the Nightmare movies in there, you got them all.
Amen.
I don't know. But it's just like my least favorite franchise. There's fun.
Right.
There's fun in it, but it's probably my least favorite of the popular ones. You were talking about Jeepers Creepers. I don't think I've ever even seen those. I've seen the Pumpkinheads.
Oh, those are great.
But you know what I really like? I really like the Phantasm series. And there's a new one coming out, probably the last one, because that dude's about to die.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like how those took on kind of like a horror sci-fi, other dimension kind of feel as you watch the rest of them. And there's great continuity, even though the character's like 10 years older. They play the continuity like it just happened.
Yeah.
And so I'm a fan of those movies. I'd like to touch on those at some point.
Oh, yeah. We'd do the Phantasm. Yeah, definitely. But you didn't see Jeepers Creepers.
I didn't.
Oh, well, you know what? I'm going to have to do a podcast just so you can watch it.
You guys got to do a podcast.
All right.
Now.
We'll do it.
And the director just got out of jail, so third one's coming.
Hooray!
So the third one's coming. He's out of prison. All right, man.
I think he was like a convicted pedophile or something.
Really?
Yeah.
Give that guy I'm pirating that movie then. I'm not going to give him a damn dime. Pirate Bay it is.
Hey,
I
man.
mean, what are you talking about? Shh.
Yeah, that Jeepers Creepers, good movie, Ted. You definitely got to see it.
How good? Wicker Man good?
I like the second one better, honestly.
You say it's
second one better? Okay.
Well, if you say it's as good as 73's Wicker Man, I'll watch it.
You'll watch it.
Yeah, man, I'm old school. I'm old, man. I like to watch the old ones. I do.
Yeah, Ted tends to like the older Hammer,
Hammer's
Wicker Man.
I love my atmosphere and
I do too.
Big bosoms and
classic 60s bosom
and Peter Cushing. You put all those three things in a movie and you got me.
Heck yeah, man.
So
I love the original Texas Chainsaw movie because of the atmosphere.
Yeah, there's very little blood in that movie. There's very little gore, but you had people coming out of that movie scared to death. Yeah. Thinking that it was gorier than it was, and it really wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And
when you think she's making it out of the house, when she runs out, and he runs out, grabs her, pulls her back in, you're like, oh, she's done.
That's
there is no hope for her.
And there's no better character than Franklin in the wheelchair, having to pee in the coffee can and falling down the hill. And I laugh my butt off every time I see that, handicapped or not.
Well, that's why they put it in the film.
And they pick up that hitchhiker. Who's going to pick up that guy? I mean, as soon as as soon as the car door opened, you see him with that big spot on his face, no.
Yeah. I mean, I know this was that was the era, but
right. I mean,
still,
now they're making a new one of that, right? What, a Leatherface?
Well, you know what? That seems like it's a prequel. So I mean, it's before he became.
Did a prequel.
Well, this is before he became.
Prequel.
Yeah, this is a prequel, but this is supposed to take place before he becomes Leatherface, when he escapes the asylum, the mental institution.
Why don't they just go back and do the family?
I think that's kind of a cool idea.
What about the character of Grandpa? All right, remember Grandpa?
Just do a full
movie about him.
Just do a full movie on Grandpa.
Killer. They were putting the hammer in his hand, trying to get him to whack the girl in the head. Let's do a movie on him
and call it Grandpa.
Grandpa.
That is not a bad idea.
Hollywood.
You know what?
Leatherface.
Yeah.
Let's get to this. We could see Leatherface get born.
Wrinkle face.
Yeah, we could see him get born or something.
There we go.
Wrinkle face.
Let's see what Grandpa
We'll make
did.
it really low budget B. Yeah.
Let's see what that guy was capable of. They said he was the best killer.
Yeah.
Well, let's see.
They
I got all the ideas.
Masks at the Halloween store. I mean, there you go. There's snacks.
I've got the ideas. Leave Leatherface out of it. People are tired of him, man.
Yeah.
Let's see Grandpa.
Yeah, veer off a little bit in one of the other characters.
That's what I'm talking about. I don't want to see another Michael Myers.
It started off with them how they put the hammer in his head and it just drops.
Well, I mean, you could have that in the movie, that scene,
and then rewind about maybe 10 years or so.
You see what getting talking about this with other people gets ideas going. That's how you catch an idea.
Heck yeah, man.
That's a good idea.
It is a good.
I don't want to see another Michael Myers. Man. I don't want to see another Jason. Let me see something cool like that. I don't need to see another movie with Chucky running around. It's a doll. You kick it.
Chucky.
I mean, I like Chucky, and I like him because I like the animatronics, and at least the first one, I can watch it with my 6-year-old daughter, and because there's only a couple of swear words, the violence not too heavy, and it's just enough to scare her a little bit, just because I think it's healthy for children to be scared a little once in a while. I think it's unhealthy to not be scared and not know what to do in those situations. So, it's like when you pop in the Dark Crystal or something like that.
Chucky is probably my least favorite series out of the main horror villains.
Yeah,
that's probably my least.
You're probably in the majority with that. I don't know. I like the animatronic doll. I like the.
Oh yeah.
I like how they haven't gone full blown CGI with them, even in the new one.
Right.
And there is.
They probably will in the new one.
I don't know. I think the fans really want that doll. I think that's got to have that doll look to it. I hope they don't. I'll lose interest if they do.
If they don't have Brad Dourif come back, how they had Jackie Earle Haley for the remake.
Right.
That's probably one of the reasons a lot of people didn't like that. If they didn't have Brad Dourif as Chucky, it wouldn't be as good.
Yeah, I think he owns that character. I don't think he while he's alive and breathing, I think he'll do it.
Yeah.
It's not like
keep it on the
it's not like you see him in every other movie or something. He's not Samuel L. Jackson. He's not making big banks. So I think he's probably calling them up saying, when are you going to make another Chucky movie? And house payments due, car payments due. Let's go.
Horror movie.
Give me the ginger doll again to pay my electric bill.
Pat, horror movie review guy, he said Gremlins. I think that was one that Ted wanted to do a couple weeks ago. Yeah,
I'm dying to do Gremlins, and I'll even do Gremlins 2. I'll even do Gremlins 2.
Well, we'll do one first, okay?
So Gremlins 2 is just wacko because it's got Bugs Bunny in it.
Gremlins 2 is amazing. It's way underrated.
It's got Christopher Lee playing a character called Dr. Catheter.
Well, maybe we'll do 2 and not 1.
Because that's actually what I like to do. I like to do the odd ones. I don't want to do Nightmare on Elm Street 1. I want to do 2. I don't want to do Friday the 13th 1. If we do Friday the 13th, the one everybody hates is Final Friday. Let's do that one because Jason's in it for like
part 5. That would be a controversial episode.
We could do 5. We could do Halloween 3 is 5. It. That's already a lock.
Yeah.
I love Halloween 3. I mean, come on.
Right. I want to do.
That's what I think we're gonna do. Yeah.
So
I'm not sure if we might do that this coming week. Maybe
I figured maybe closer to Halloween or whatever. Because we were talking about doing like the worst one in every franchise. So that's why. So I don't know what we're gonna do for next week.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
It's getting to be that time, so we'll probably pick the popular franchises and take
whatever one. Gremlins. I mean.
I love Gremlins.
Yeah, maybe we might do that.
Unless you want to save it more for Christmas, since it takes place at Christmas.
That's true. That's true.
We could do like Gremlins and Silent Night, Deadly Night, and all that.
Yes, Silent Night, Deadly Night.
I think that's what we're thinking about.
Yeah,
try to time it with the holidays.
Black Christmas.
To time it with. We try to time it with the holidays, or if there's a remake coming out. We did Poltergeist around the time the remake was coming out.
Yeah. Or we just go way off end and do whatever the hell we want.
Yeah, like we did Shot in the Dark last week. So
we did Pink Panther last week. So. That's just because that's something we like. Every now and then we got to throw in something we like, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I got to get some Vincent Price back in there, though. I love me my Vincent Price movies.
Yeah. Well, anyways, hey, we're gonna get going here, man. Thanks for calling us up there, buddy.
Yeah, it's cool to talk to you, man. Just keep watching, and we'll talk again.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. I'm waiting for the Gremlins episode.
Okay, coming soon.
yeah. We'll pick a good one for next week. It'll be posted.
All right.
Take care.
Right, thanks, guys.
Later, dude.
Bye.
Okay, man. There we go. Hey, that was pretty cool having a couple people calling and stuff.
I felt like a regular host.
Heck yeah, man.
Thanks for calling in.
Horror movie review guy. Talk to first, Pat. Cool. Luke, ZS5, Zombie Slayer. I know we got Riley Eddie was in the chat. Link Plays Games and Reacts was in our chat. And the Ank Warrior 83. So, hey, everybody, thanks for chanting while we were doing the show.
Yeah,
hope you guys enjoyed it. And hopefully people are watching. We got a mystery box giveaway going on here. So some pretty cool stuff in it. So hopefully you guys
know nothing about this.
Yeah, I threw it up there. Some incentive to get some subscribers and stuff. Jumping the gun.
What do you got me into?
We've been doing it 5-6 months now, I think. So we're doing good. I just, hey, anything to have fun, get some people in here, get some people talking and stuff. So I think we'll end it, man. Yeah. And
we'll pick another bad franchise.
We'll pick another bad franchise. Yeah, we'll figure it out. And until next time, man, thanks for watching, and you guys take care. Until I get to that, I'm going to stop broadcast now.